Okay, welcome back. Hour number 3. A couple of little things to duck in here before we bring Frosty on. Thanks to Tom in Gilroy, we were talking about Roundup last hour and glyphosate. He says, I'm in Gilroy, California, and I listen to your program each night. It's interesting how much Roundup is sprayed in our area. On one side of the road, farmers growing organic crops, and on the other side of the road, farmers spraying Roundup. And how crazy it is to see all the vineyards in our area with center brown rows right now because they sprayed Roundup. Although when you talk to these grape growers, they'll tell you Roundup will not be able to penetrate the ground at all and enter into the vines. That's total BS. It goes right into the soil and right up into the plants and into the grapes. So come on. The same with the all the herbicides and insecticides. They go into the soil and the plants uptake them. Thanks for that, Tom. It just gets worse and worse. The Department of Homeland Security. Oh, my. DHS Intelligence Assessment highlights threat posed by sovereign citizen groups. What's a sovereign citizen? It's an American who believes in the Constitution and interprets it verbatim, word for word. U.S. security, writes the DHS, this was released yesterday, U.S. security officials have long considered sovereign citizen groups, let's just call them patriots, as a growing threat to domestic security. Huh? In a 2014 survey of state and local law enforcement agencies, leaders of these agencies listed members of sovereign citizen groups as the top domestic terror threat, ahead of foreign Islamist or domestic militia groups. The U.S. government has primarily focused its counterterrorism efforts on the threats posed by foreign extremist groups, including ISIS and Al-Qaeda, but the problem posed by domestic would-be terrorists has not been overlooked. A new DHS intelligence assessment released earlier this month focuses on the domestic terror threat from sovereign citizen extremists. These are just patriots, good Lord. Anyway, what do you expect from the DHS? Frosty Wooldridge is with us right now. He's been fighting for the better part of, going on over 2 decades now to try to wake America up to the simple fact that we are being intentionally injected with masses of illegal aliens from different cultures who have no interest whatsoever of assimilating into American cultural history or current contemporary history. They want to remain in their own little cliques, their enclaves, and that's how it's going to be. And we are headed well down that road of tragic multiculturalism, which doesn't work, never will, and never would. Hello, Frosty. Welcome back.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff, and the best to each listener this end of February. And as you see the world events unfolding that you and I have been describing and certainly predicting now for the last 10 years, we're in a lot of trouble. And I know you've interviewed Robert Spencer, and he's on jihadwatch.com, and he's one of the great Americans who really tells it like it is. And he understands exactly what's going on, and I've heard him often in interviews. He not only makes sense, he has the tremendous understanding of Islamic terror, certainly the entire thrust of Islam. And so we see that going on, and we did certainly last month in Paris, France. Yeah. We then saw it there in Denmark. We've already seen it here in this country, the Boston Marathon, the Fort Hood shootings.
Fort Hood. People don't remember. Absolutely. And the woman was decapitated by the...
Yeah, that was in Moore, Oklahoma, just last summer. And as we've talked about, more and more of these kinds of incidences are going to occur here in the United States, just as they are occurring and I just got a letter from a teacher in Dearborn, and the Dearborn teacher talks about the fact that all school monies are being moved from English end of town which is the Caucasian, Irish, Polish, Italians, to the east end of town, which is 95% Arabic, an attempt to prop up the poorly performing schools, forget math and science. Everybody gets free breakfasts and lunches after being dropped off in their Land Rovers, and the car of choice here are Mercedes and Escalades, and it is very common to have 3 families in one house. And the husbands, they bring in one wife, but they call their other second, third, and fourth wives extended family. And then, of course, it has...
So this is common over here now.
Oh, yeah, this is in Dearborn, Michigan, which is Dearbornistan. And, of course, the Americans have totally, completely moved out. The call of the Islamic Mecca... call of Islam 5 times a day, go over the loudspeakers there. It's a little
5 times a day.
Oh, yeah, 5 times a day. And people will be bowing in the streets. There's prayer rugs everywhere. And even for food assistance, all the...
Wait a minute. What about excuse me, what about our right to peace and tranquility in the community? They have noise laws. I mean, if someone's got a rooster next door that raises hell at 5 a.m. every morning, that's going to stop. So 5 times a day. Now, I don't care what religion it is, but this is a little wacky.
Well, yeah, but there's 300,000, in fact, there's more than 300,000 total Muslims there in
Dearborn?
Dearborn and Detroit.
Michigan.
Yeah, and that's correct.
It's unbelievable.
The mosques are taking over, and Americans are totally run out, and these.
Well, you can't blame them. Doing the same thing in Paris.
They're doing the same thing in Paris.
There are no-go zones all over Paris now.
Well, the same thing in Belgium, the same thing in Holland, the same thing in Sweden.
Well, and look at what used to be Great Britain. The English culture is being destroyed. Frosty sent me a video I'm going to run tonight. Can I do this, Frosty?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't want to take too much of your time, but this video is 4 minutes long. I'd like to play this video.
Yeah, let's do that.
I think this is really important. It came out, published in 2012, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, this is 3 years ago, and I want you, as you listen to this woman, describe what it's like going back to her hometown in Britain, or the town of Luton, Luton, in 2012, to see what has happened to her town in terms of the Islamic invasion. It's not sub-Saharan black Africans in this case. It's an Islamic invasion, which is happening all over Britain. But let's, if you don't mind, Frosty, I'd like to play this because it really makes the point. The woman walks down the streets of her childhood. She's a young woman. She's in her 20s. But she used to walk down there as a kid. Now when she walks down, she is verbally assaulted, told to cover her body with burqa and robe and the whole thing, threatened, verbally abused. This is England. And remember, the leadership in England is doing nothing to stop this because they're all part and parcel of the control mechanism to tear down the Western world as we knew it. All right, Frosty?
Yeah, I've listened to this myself. They want to kill the police. You'll hear the chant by all the Muslims as they walk down. And this lady is wearing a dress all the way down to her ankles. Yeah. So it's not like she isn't, but they're calling her parading down the road naked, and that she needs to get a burqa on and cover her body for Allah.
All right.
It's quite the sick.
The video is called "The Horrific Muslim Infiltration of Britain in the City of Luton." This is April 2012, 3 years ago.
I'm Stacey Dooley, and this is Luton, where I was born. I went to school here. I even worked at the airport, and then I moved away. But now I'm coming home to find out if it's true that Muslim extremists are taking over my town. It didn't take long to witness firsthand the extremism I'd been hearing about. I wasn't sure.
Now she's walking down the street, which is crowded with Muslim demonstrators, and they're saying, UK, go to hell, British police, go to hell. And she's walking right amongst them.
What they were marching for, but tensions were running high.
Your sister brother, your mother, where is the case? How dare they touch a woman?
It turns out the demo was in response to the arrest of local woman Mona Thorney, whose husband set off a bomb in Stockholm in 2010. I cannot believe this. I've never seen anything on this scale before. And it breaks my heart to think that.
She's saying it affects my heart to see this in my town of Luton. She's walking right down the street. You'll see this. I'll have it posted later.
Hands off Muslims! Hands off Muslims! Hands off Muslims!
Everyone's got a right to protest, but
a little buffer. Everyone's got a right to protest, she says. And the chanting nonstop, and we'll see if it comes back up. Pretty shocking to see in this one city 3 years ago.
provocative and extreme.
British police go to hell!
British police go to hell. There it is.
This is the message. It's got oppression.
Police burn in hell. British police burn in hell.
Yeah, because
No real Muslim wants anyone to burn in hell.
yeah, but for what they've done, the
You
consequences
can't
of their
pick and
actions.
choose. You can't pick and choose. You
You either
can't.
believe or you disbelieve.
You know
You
what?
choose to wear this, I choose to wear that.
You and I will
That's why you
have
look
to.
naked on the street.
Do I look naked? Do I really? I don't look naked.
You're trying to seduce.
And the Muslim woman is telling this young lady that she looks naked because she doesn't have a burqa on. She has a full-length, it's kind of an orange dress, and she's walking. The Islamic woman is saying, "Who are you trying to seduce?"
No one's trying to seduce me, and I'm not trying to seduce anyone. You shouldn't judge me how I try not to judge you. You are. You've just said who am I trying to seduce? No one.
I said I am judging.
Well, I don't judge you because I'm above that. Excuse me, go put on some clothes. How you choose to live slow, how you choose to dress like that, I choose to dress like this. You don't start.
It's okay.
Don't you dare speak to me like that. No, this is my hometown as well.
All right, stay then.
No, I'm walking.
Okay. It's not point.
I am walking. No, I can do what I want.
Okay, you can.
That girl's just I don't mind. Point away. Point away. Because you're not scaring me. I try my hardest to sympathise with people who may be different to me. And it's a tiny minority that play up. Who are you trying to seduce? Go and put some clothes on. You look naked.
They've been arrested. They've been harassed by the police.
Such a shame.
No evidence whatsoever.
Do you think it's fair that you should say British police need to burn in hell?
That's a freedom of speech. They wish to say, they can say it.
In Islam, doesn't it say that you have to respect the law of the land that you're living in? I thought it did. What's the solution? You know, if Muslim people are in the wrong and they are committing crimes, you know, no one's above the law.
If the law of the land is Islamic, we will respect the law of the land.
What if it's not
If
Islamic?
it's not Islamic, then the law of the land and those who make it can go to hell, quite honestly, because Allah said in
my
the Quran, in chapter 33, verse 1, He said,
Okay, did you hear that? I think you all did.
"O Prophet, fear Allah and do not obey the disbelievers and the hypocrites." Is David Cameron a Muslim or a disbeliever? Guys,
I can't speak
disbeliever.
on Cameron,
So you
obviously.
can't obey him.
So-
So he can go to hell, as well as
Do you
all
think-
the other leaders.
Do you
Let me
think
tell
I
you-
should go to
let me
hell
tell you
because I'm
something.
a
We will.
non-Muslim?
You're on your way to the hellfire because you're a non-Muslim. All non-Muslims are destined for the hellfire.
Do you really believe
And
that?
yes, and you will be fueled for the hellfire as well. But the fact is that you have an opportunity to change.
That hurts me to think that you think that of me because you don't
Well, it's
really
not- it's
know
not.
me
The
and you
fact
think
is-
I'm
the fact
destined
is-
to
no,
hell
but
because I'm non-Muslim.
you said you're not a Muslim, so that's enough for me to know that you're not Muslim.
So-
If you're not Muslim, you're destined for the hellfire unless you change.
I find it sad that anyone would preach such a damning message. To sum up in words, even to tell you how I'm feeling right now, I feel completely gutted. I'm gutted that this is happening.